All right, so the session is now being recorded. So thank you all so very much for being here. We have our academic program Q&A tonight, and for the next 30 minutes or so, we have representatives from our School of Business, Hospitality, and Tourism with us to help answer some questions that you might have. So what I would ask is that during our question and answer period, if you do have any questions, just click the little discussion box, the conversation box at the top of your screen, and you can type your questions in there and we'll be able to answer them with our representatives right now. So before we get going, I would also like to say that if you have a microphone on, please make sure it is muted when you're not speaking. That way we can make sure we don't have any background noise or anything like that going forward. So I guess without wasting any more time, I'll have the representatives from the School of Business, Hospitality, and Tourism just introduce themselves and say a few words about them. So we'll start with Erica.
Hi, everyone. My name is Erica Mulligard, and I am the Academic Chair for the Administrative Professional Programs, and I'm based out of the Fredericton campus.
Terrific. Thank you, Erica. Carol. I think you're on mute, Carol.
Sorry about that. Thanks, Mike. I'm Carol Murphy. I am the academic chair for the business programs. So that includes accounting and payroll and the 5 different streams of business. And I'm based out of the Moncton campus.
Awesome. Thank you very much. And now we'll go to Mary Lynn.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Mary Lynn Borsella, and I'm the academic chair for Hospitality and Tourism, and also the business post-diploma programs, which are International Business Management and Human Resources Management. And I am also based out of Moncton campus. Welcome.
Well, thank you very much. We're really excited to have everyone here tonight. Like I said, the open house is normally something that we like to do in person, obviously, but given the circumstances that we're in, we're thrilled to be able to have the resources to do it virtually tonight. So before we get going, like I said, please feel free to submit any questions that you may have in the conversation box, just to your right-hand side. Maybe I'll start and I'll ask Erica. Erica, can you maybe give us an overview of a couple of the programs that you work with?
Absolutely. So the administrative professional program has a couple of different streams. So we do have the regular admin professional program that runs over a year, an academic year. But we also have the administrative professional health services program, which is a year and a half. We have the administrative professional executive program, which is also a year and a half. And then we have the administrative professional French second language training program which is 2 years in length. I can keep going if you want a little more detail. Maybe you can ask me.
Yeah, we'll go with that, and we'll go around to the other awesome. Other members of the school. So, Carol, I'll go to you to give another kind of a similar kind of overview as Erica.
Sure. Thanks, Mike. So in the business area, we have Business Administration 2-year diploma, and there are 5 different streams of the diploma. So you can choose Business Administration Accounting, Business Administration Marketing, Business Administration Management. We have an Insurance and Risk stream, and we have a Business Administration Financial Management stream. The neat thing about business administration is in your first year, in the first 2 terms, you have courses in common. So there is some flexibility for students to choose their stream while they're with us. In addition to those 5 programs, we have a 1-year certificate program called Accounting and Payroll, and it runs in 2 campuses from September to June and 1 campus from January to December.
Awesome. Thank you very much. And Mary Lynn, if you want to go ahead and give a little overview as well.
Okay. In the Hospitality and Tourism Management program area, we have Hotel and Restaurant Management, which is a 2-year program. We have Hotel and Restaurant Operations, which is a 1-year certificate program. That program is the first year of the 2-year Hotel and Restaurant Management program. So you do have the option, if you get into the Hotel and Restaurant Operations program, you have the option to transfer into the 2-year program if you wish to do so. Or if you wish to exit after 1 year and you're already in the 2-year program, you have the ability to exit after 1 year with a certificate as well. We also have the Culinary Arts Management program, which is a 2-year program, and the same as Hotel and Restaurant Operations, we have Culinary Arts. So Culinary Arts is the first year of the Culinary Arts Management program. So there is a 1-year exit point and a 2-year diploma program with both of those areas. We also have a cook program. So the cook program, a lot of questions we get, what is the difference between culinary arts and cook? They're both 1-year programs. The cook program is more, it is geared towards institutionalized cooking. So cafeterias, hospitals, nursing homes, seniors homes, those types of facilities that have institutional cooking, more so than the culinary arts. However, they both are designed so that you write your block 1, which is what we call, which is an apprenticeship. So it's an apprenticeable trade, cook. However, the competencies for cook apprenticeship are in both culinary arts and in cook. So you also will have the opportunity to pursue your Red Seal if you go into any of those programs. We also have international travel and tourism. It is a 1-year program, and at the final semester of that program, you do have an international experience. This year may not be an international experience, depending on how we progress with the pandemic. However, we will have an experience, a tourism experience, at the end of that program, either way. There are also in the business area 2 postgraduate programs. One is International Business Management. It follows a certification program, Foreign Institute for Trades training, and that is a 1-year post-diploma program. And we have Human Resources Management as well, another post-diploma program. Both of those programs require you to have some post-secondary experience. So whether it be a post-secondary diploma or an undergraduate degree, you will be required to have that post-secondary diploma or a degree or the equivalent in experience in the workplace. So all of those programs are under the banner of Hospitality and Tourism Management and Post-Diploma Program.
Thank you very much. So that, as you all know, all of the participants and even some of the staff members here, is a lot to take in. There's a lot of programs, there's a lot of different options. One thing that we've done prior to this open house is we've recorded videos about pretty much all of the programs that we offer at NBCC, and they're available on a YouTube playlist that Catherine is actually going to post in the discussion here. So if you want more information about the different programs within the School of Business, Hospitality and Tourism, or any other programs that NBCC offers, feel free. That playlist will remain live in public, so you can go and check that out at any time. So I'd like to just start off, and I'll ask this, maybe one of you can put up your hand if you'd like to take it, because it's kind of a general question. How many terms are in the academic year, and are there classes over the summer? Carol, go right ahead.
Yeah, I'll
go right
take
ahead.
that one. So there are actually 4 terms in the academic year, but in most program areas, they run for 3 terms with a break in the summer. So the majority of our programs do start in September, and they would run through the fall term, then the winter term that goes from January to April, then the spring term from April to June, and then the summers are off. As I mentioned when I was talking about my programs, I do have program that starts in January, and I believe Erica does as well. And those programs usually run for winter term and spring term. Then you have a break in the summer, and then you go into the last term in the fall if it's for that first year. We have introduced, however, some spring start programs that have an accelerated course map. And I have one of those for business administration accounting, where we're recruiting right now for students who want to start in April of 2021. So in that program area, students do study through the summer. So since it's an accelerated course map, they study each consecutive term and they finish a little bit sooner than the standard 2 years. How's that, Mike?
That's great, Carol. Thank you very much. Mary Lynn or Erica, either of you have anything you'd like to add there?
Yes, I will just add that we also in the hotel and restaurant management program, we are starting a spring cohort as well at the St. Andrews campus. So we are currently open for applications to start in the spring, and they will also study through the summer and then carry on term for term. And that is the hotel and restaurant management program.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. I don't see any questions coming from any of the students so far. They must be shy. So I'll continue with some of the ones that I have here on my list. Speaking of courses per term, how many courses are taught in an academic term if a student is studying full time?
I can answer that one. Typically, there are anywhere from five to 7 or 8 courses. Business has several, sometimes a few more than most of the other disciplines because they have what we would call 45-hour courses. So 3 hours per week over a 90-hour period, over a term, or a 90-hour course, which is 6 hours a week over a 15-week semester. So it varies depending on how long the courses are. I do believe that business would have many more shorter courses than hotel and restaurant management. On the alternate side, we do have in hotel restaurant management many courses that are longer that run over 2 consecutive terms. So you may start baking and pastry arts in the first semester in the fall, but not finish that until the spring semester because there's so much information to learn. So it varies.
Yeah, I agree with that, Mary Lynn. And in business, students can generally expect to cover 10 credits in the course of a term. And that, as you say, could mean anywhere from 6 to 8 or 9 different courses, depending on whether they're a 1 credit or a 2 credit. So I can very quickly, if Mike allows me to, share a screen and show you what a term might look like. Is that all right, Mike?
Please do. Please do.
Yeah. So I'll pop this right up. So here, is everybody seeing that okay? You should see a September term. You can see that there's a list of courses here that students would take, and some have 1 credit and some have 2. We started this year what we call a 7-1-7 model. So our terms are divided into the first half and the second half. So you may not actually have to study all these courses at the same time. The 2 credit courses will run through the full term, and you might have applied writing in the first half and then maybe business ethics in the second half, so that you can focus your attention on 1 course at a time. I'm going to try to smoothly come back and stop sharing my screen now that you've had that quick peek at that course map.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you very much. We did have a question actually from a student, and it timed out perfect, so I believe we kind of answered it. I'm wondering the length of the hotel and restaurant management program, so I think Mary Lynn kind of answered that in her last go. Erica, since you have been the quietest throughout the first part of this, I'll ask you a question here that we've been asked before. if I fail a course, am I able to retake it?
Yes, you are. There tends to be some different options available for students. So our continuing education department will offer courses online that students can jump into to pick up a course that they may have been unsuccessful in. But as Carol alluded to, we also have programs that start at different times. So some of my programs will start in September and some will start in January. And that means that there might be another opportunity for that student to jump into another cohort's offering of that particular course. There's a process for that, and students do have to apply to take that course. It's an internal application process that we assist them with. And if there's enough capacity in that course, then they would be eligible to retake it. Otherwise, there is obviously the opportunity to come back again the very next year to take the course. Same application process applies, and we would assist them with applying to take the course the next year. And I don't know if any of my colleagues want to add to that.
Yeah, I'll add one piece, Erica, because as you said, we will guide you through that process. So we have what we call coordinating instructors who act as academic advisors to students. So if you have a question about switching from full-time to part-time, or if you want to repeat a course, as Erica said, then an academic advisor would meet with you and let you know when the courses are offered and what your roadmap to graduation would be. So there's lots of support to help students navigate through those pathways.
Awesome. So actually, here is a question submitted from a student. So for the business administration marketing program, after 2 years, would I be able to move forward with my academics to the University of New Brunswick?
That is a great question. So we have quite a few articulation agreements with post-secondaries, and we call them 2+2s because very often a university will take our 2-year diploma as a complete first 2 years into a degree. So for business admin marketing, as well as all the other programs, when you visit our website, and you look at that specific program, you can scroll down and you'll see a list of all the current articulation agreements and see which universities have those. University of New Brunswick does accept many of our courses. It's not an articulated 2+2 with UNB Fredericton, but UNB St. John does have an agreement for some programs. So I encourage you to check those agreements out. There, Catherine's posted the pathways for us. Thanks, Catherine. Lots of great opportunities, some locally in New Brunswick, some out of province, and some out of the country too.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Carol. Sorry, I'm just admitting another student here from the lobby, so we'll get going. So, sorry, there's another one. We talked about if the students have an opportunity to retake a class, but if a student is struggling in a class, are there services available where they can go to get additional help or support if they need it? So I'll not ask it to anyone in general, but if maybe just someone wants to throw up a hand, they can respond.
Sure, I can respond to that.
Sure. Thanks, Marilyn.
We do have for every school, we do have learning strategists. So if you're struggling with the workload, if it is your first time in post-secondary, if it's your first time in post-secondary in Canada, we do have learning strategists who are assigned to each school for specifically that reason, to work with students to help them put together a plan so that they can manage their workload. They will do the first assessment and they will determine perhaps you need a tutor, perhaps you need to speak with a counselor. Maybe it's time management that you're struggling with. It could be a language issue, and we do have opportunities for students to get together to practice speaking language at different campuses. So we do have a significant amount of supports. We have online tutoring as well. So depending on what it is you're struggling with, we have a variety of different supports, and they would be listed under the student development and with student development pages on the website. So student services. If any of my colleagues would like to add to that, go right ahead.
I think you covered it well. Yes, there's lots of people available to support students as we go through. So as I had earlier said, you know, the coordinating instructor is often the first point of contact, and will help refer to the learning strategist or counselors, or the Indigenous advisor that we have, any supports or resources that a student might be looking for. So we're here to help you through your journey.
I thought I'd mention too, there's a really fantastic program that that the student development team offers. It's called Keep Me Safe, and it's a 24-hour counseling service, and it's also offered in a number of different languages. So if English isn't your first language, likely they would be able to find you a contact who speaks your language. So that's it's a really unique and fantastic service that MBCC offers for free to all of their incoming students.
Thank you all very much. Those were great answers. We do have a question specifically for hotel and restaurant management here. Generally, what are the class schedules for hotel and restaurant management?
For hotel, restaurant, and management, we are currently offering the program in what we would call a blended delivery cycle. So you would have a certain number of hours, a certain amount of courses that would be online and theory. So during the week, you would go to your theory classes online. You would then have 1 or 2 sessions a week that are on campus. So right now it is in a blended delivery. Moving forward, it will likely be more on campus than off due to the very practical nature of the hotel and restaurant management program. However, that being said, the second year is very much theory and management courses. So the first year is heavier on campus and on the practical introductory courses. The second year you move more into theory and management courses. There are some supervisory courses in the second year, so you will be required to be on campus and in a supervisory to do the practical application of your supervisory courses. However, it is a mixture in both years, more so on campus in the first year, and in the second year, more theory.
Great, thank you so much. We do have another question here, and this is more of a general one, and so I'll let the three of you decide who's going to answer this. So this one says, how does MBCC typically help their students advance their careers and/or education post-graduation?
Well, that's a great question. I'll jump in, and then Erica and Mary-Lynn will add anything that I forget to talk about. So before you graduate, one of the things that I think is really important for us to highlight is that in all of our programs, we have work practicums. So the very last thing that you do as part of your studies with us is to go out and take your new skills and put them to practice in a workplace with one of our many local employers. So we help students find these placements. You go through the job search yourself, just as though you were looking for a job, but we have many employers that come looking for our students because they know the skill set they're going to get. And that practicum is a great launch pad for students as they go off into their careers. In some cases, they'll be hired on by their practicum host, and in other cases, they're taking the experience that they got on their work practicum and using that in their next interview to explain how they have already put their skills to work. So that's the first thing that happens. In terms of looking for your next big job as well, we have an amazing alumni association for students. And as soon as you graduate, you become a member of our alumni association. We have an employment page on the alumni part of our website, and our employers register to post their opportunities there. Again, they know the quality candidate they're going to get from MBCC, so they're often coming looking for a new hire. So that's one way we help support. In terms of education post-graduation, I'd say that sort of circles back to the articulation agreements that we touched on briefly earlier, where there's many opportunities to take your diploma and move on with an articulation agreement with another post-secondary, locally or abroad, or of course come back to NBCC. A lot of my business students that finish their 2-year diploma like to move on to international business management or human resource management in Mary Lynn's area so that they can continue their learning with us. So did I forget anything, Erica or Mary Lynn?
No, very good. I just see, though, a shout out. We have 2 successful alumni with us tonight, Colin and Ryan both. So certainly a testimony to those work practicums working well for students.
And I thought I'd point out too that a lot of our curriculum includes a course called Employment Strategies. So we'll actually assist you in developing a lot of those skills, whether it's resume making, networking, interviewing. So we do give you an opportunity certainly to brush up on those skills so that you're in the best possible position to obtain employment post-grad.
Thank you all very much. Those were great answers, and nice to see Colin chipping in and letting us know that he still hasn't left his practicum host. So that's great. So we're about 2 minutes away from the end of our session. So what I'll do is I'll just give each of the panelists maybe 30 seconds to a minute just to kind of give a little plug for your programs and just kind of a why should students choose to study at NBCC in your programs? So we'll start with Erica.
Perfect. I think, well, my area is the admin professional, and I think it goes without saying that there is no organization that exists without the support of an admin professional. So it's a job that serves a lot of value to the employer, and one that's plentiful. So there's never any shortage of opportunities for an admin professional program and employment thereafter. So really hoping to see some of you folks here join our program either in January, perhaps, is that too soon, or next year. And NBCC for sure is a great place to be, a great community. Smaller class sizes, you get to know your classmates, you get to know your instructor. Certainly you feel like part of a college community, and we would be excited to have you play a part.
Thanks, Erica. Mary Lynn?
Yes. Well, NBCC is a big family. If you come into one program and it isn't the right fit for you, there are always supports and help, and we can redirect you and we can help you find what is best for you. However, that being said, hospitality and tourism management is the largest business in the world. I know right now people may feel during the pandemic that it isn't the right time to come into a program like this because the industry has absolutely been struggling during this difficult time. That being said, there is no other industry that bounces back harder and faster than the hospitality industry. And we strongly feel that now is a great time to come into our program because you will be perfectly positioned when the industry does take off again. There have been many managers who have left the industry have decided to retire early because of the struggles they've been facing. So if you walk out in 2 years with a management diploma in hospitality and tourism, the opportunity for advancement will be very, very quick, as opposed to any other time in our history. I'm excited about the new offering in the spring, and I do believe that program area, the students that come in now will be in a perfect position when they graduate. Post-diploma programs are often those programs that people need to get their foot in the door. For example, human resources management. If you have a business degree or business diploma, you've worked somewhere for a little bit of time and have finally decided, oh, I really like the human resource side of things. Oftentimes, those positions require experience in the field. So if you can take the year and come back and do your post-diploma and get your certification, it gives you a leg up to advance your career in those areas of specialty. There are always human resources employees required in large businesses. And if you're interested in international business, import-export, then certainly international business management is the place for you. And that's about it. Thanks.
Thank you, Mary Lynn. Carol.
All right. Well, it's hard to follow those two ladies because they said all the awesome things about NBCC. I'll go quickly and just say that, you know, our instructors really make the experience an amazing one. We have industry experts that leave their profession to come and teach and share the passion for what they do with students. And it's really a phenomenal experience for students to get to hear the stories of their work and, you know, what they learned along the way and the encouragement from those professionals. So we have a really dynamic learning environment, and along with hearing about the expertise of our faculty, you'll learn about each other as well. And, you know, I'd be remiss if I didn't comment on the fact that often our students bring some amazing experiences with them. You know, some of you may have already had a career and you're just looking to start a different career. So you're going to bring that knowledge and that excitement to the classroom. So as Mary Lynn said, you know, our class sizes are small and you'll get to know each other and share those experiences as you go through through your certificate or diploma together. So it's a great place to learn. It's a great place to work and a great place to learn.
Awesome. Well, I really do appreciate, we're a little bit over time, so I appreciate Mary Lynn, Carol, and Erica, you know, giving us some of your time here tonight to come out and talk about your programs. It was very, very informative. There were some great questions from our students, so we're really, really excited. There are a few questions that we didn't quite get to, but what we'll do is we'll allow some of our team to answer them within the chat here of this meeting. So I will say thank you very much to everyone for being here tonight. If you do have more questions, if you are a Canadian or domestic student, feel free to submit them to collegeworks@nbcc.ca. Or if you are an international student, please submit your questions to international@nbcc.ca. Thank you all so much. Have a nice evening.
Thank you for joining us, everyone.
Yes,
Well, good
thank
night.
you. Have a good night.
Thanks, guys.